Hear me now, TVS.
LB, yeah.
I'm Tyeisha and welcome to Shonna's Space. So today we're going to be talking about a book that TikTok made me read. Well, technically TikTok didn't make me read it, but someone sent me a link to a TikTok video where honestly the person made the book sound so good. I was just like, damn, we gotta read this for true. Right? So basically, in this book, like honestly, right, like as I was reading this book, I was just like, what in the Wattpad? Because hello, what in the Wattpad? What in the 50 Shades of Grey? What in the what? So it's actually a trilogy. It has 3 parts. And I think right now the first part is free on Amazon. So if you actually want to read the book, first part is free on Amazon. If you still want to read the other parts free, message me. Um, so basically, sorry, Amazon Kindle, blah blah blah. But yeah. So basically, right how this book starts is this girl named, honestly, I can't remember what's her name, but it was a real weird name, right? And it began with M. But because I can't ever remember her real name, we can call she Medusa. And I can tell in a way later what we calling she Medusa. So Medusa, who think that she's basically like this ugly duckling, is going to a party with her sister. Damn, I can't remember her name. I think she named Emily. Yeah, I think she named Emily. So Medusa is going to this party with Emily because basically the man that Emily's supposed to marry, he know finish he MBA. So that's like a big party that his father, he was basically like the king of the town that they live in, is throwing for him. So they all went to this party and like, at the beginning it basically compares like differences between Emily and Medusa, like how starkly different they are. Like basically Emily was wearing something very revealing and it was like dark and like seductive. Well, Medusa was wearing something that was a bit lighter, so she was wearing like white, and she hair had like a green tint, so she wasn't like necessarily like traditional seductive, but she still was like beautiful in her own way and stuff. But she really didn't like parties or anything like that. So girl went to this party with her sister, and she really didn't feeling it, blah blah blah. But she was just like, so she mingled for the time that she sister told she that she had to mingle for. I think her sister was only like a year and a little bit older than her. So right, so she mingled for the time that her sister said she had to mingle for. But she actually brought a book along with her, and after her sister said that she could go, after she said she put on lipstick and told her she could go, she basically went to look for a quiet room to sit down in and read her book. So sweet girl gone and sitting in this room, and she is reading her book. And then like, well, before she even get to the room to read her book, she sees the boy like doing the most. Like the man was like, like there was just like, I trying to not be too musty for YouTube, but the people was doing the do. Right. So she gone past and she ended up in the library and she's reading her book. And then like she was so immersed in her book, she had light off, I think. And so she didn't realize when someone came into the room. But basically she ended up looking up because she feels somebody looking at she, and she realized, damn, is the man that my sister's supposed to marry. So anyway, like they had like this interaction and they had like this chemistry, like the sexual tension was there. It was just like and like I feel like if they hadn't get interrupt, or if it wasn't that they were supposed to go out to the party or some foolishness like that, it would get a little steamier. But anyway, at the end of their little session, he asked her to wait for him, right? And like a little goat, she do it for true. But anyway, because she had actually really, technically, she said she didn't wait on him on purpose because men really wasn't that interested in she. It wasn't that she wasn't interested in men. But she was going to like this bougie all girls school, and so I guess she didn't just really didn't have enough time for a boyfriend. She was really smart too. She was like top of her class. She was brought on. She was accepted into the school based on her grades, but her sister was accepted because based on legacy rather than grades. So, or she was studying economics. Like, girl, economics, whoo, to bust your brain. Anyway, that's not the point here. So, I think a year passed. I don't remember. Yeah, a year passed. A year passed, the truth. And basically, there was supposed to be this meeting where the fella and his father and his stepmother wasn't coming. But he felt like his father was supposed to come across, but her sister was ill. Like sweet girl was just like puking up her guts. And like all this time talking about food poisoning. Food poisoning. Talking about, oh, the salmon I had last night was bad. But it was like the girl taking note of the fact like, okay, well firstly my sister's the only one that get that sick. And like sweet girl is not taking any alcohol. So like them things was at the back of her mind. But of course she didn't the conclusion. She's just like, well my sister says food poisoning and she didn't tell me nothing else. And so it's food poisoning. So anyway, the sister was really, really ill and she really could not come downstairs. But like the fella father, well I can't remember what the man name. But anyway, his father was real demanding. And he was just like, where's your daughter? Why is she not here? Because they had actually tried to like cancel the dinner lunch, whatever it was, because the girl was sick. And they all know what the purpose of the meeting was. But so, basically, the parents were like, well, since we can't get this meeting postponed, you're actually going to wear the dress. Tell Medusa that she got to wear the dress that her sister was supposed to wear. Make herself look decent, everything. And she went upstairs. Basically greeted the man. And so the man was like, well, the father was like, well, you know what we're really here for. My son done his degree and he ready to come and join the board at the company. And basically in order to join the board at the company, he must find a potential wife. And so that's why your daughter's supposed to marry my son. Emily, that is. But that time Emily's sick. So, you know, Medusa being a protective little sister was just like, you can't force my sister. And she was like, well, and then the man, the fella father was like, well, maybe she should come out here and speak for herself. But like, sweet girl is sick. So, you know, she got upstairs to get her sister. And the girl come upstairs, shake the man hand and vomit all over the man hand. Like, hello? But, so anyway, after she vomited up on the man hand, obviously she ran back upstairs because she embarrassed. Like, I will be ashamed too. Like, I just vomit all over this man hand. Like, my future father-in-law hand that I just vomit all over. So that's how that was going. So the man that's supposed to get married, well, I cannot remember this man's name, but he basically starts suggesting that the girl might be pregnant. Yeah, it turned out the girl was pregnant, or at least they wasn't sure yet, but she was late. So yeah. So then the father was just like, well, it's supposed to be one of your daughters. So since that one married, and basically it's a disgrace to her name, I want you to know. I want Medusa now. Medusa for my son. But you gotta get makeover, car. You look like bear garbage. You know, at this point, Medusa is just like, hell no, you can't tell me what to do. Like, who you feel is, like, no, I'm not getting married to him. But then, Mans was like, yeah, so you can actually do it. Because let me tell you, no, your family ain't bear that. When they got no money, you go into that bougie school, but your family can't afford it. When they got millions of dollars in debt, this house is mortgaged to the brim. Y'all gonna be homeless. And so she was like, damn, I guess I got married then. So the man was like, so if you marry my son, I can absolve your family of their debt or whatever. And basically, father get to keep the job because her father worked for the man's company. So she's an economics student and she got a little science. So she was economic student minoring in history, I think. And she really liked mythical stuff like the Greek gods and thing. Ares and Hades and those people. Because the name's not coming right now. But yeah, so she was into that kind of thing. That's what she heard was green, I guess. But anyway, like the man had know that she was into that sort of shit, so that's what he had called that kind of stuff. That's what he had called she Medusa, because he was like, basically she's turning to stone. Right, I was supposed to tell one that earlier, I forget. So she renegotiated and she was like, well, here the thing, you know, I can marry your son and you can absorb my family of the debt. Plus we can get it for $1 million. And he was just like, no, she actually asked for $10 million at first, but they actually negotiated more and she was able to sell her on 5. And he said that he would put a money manager into place. But here's the thing though, she know that this man's a powerful man, but what she does not know is that every time you think that you're actually winning with him, he is 2 steps ahead of you. Sometimes even at the end of the game, while you at the beginning. Like, this man knows what he is doing. So she agreed to it, blah 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 blah. And time goes on, like she began like preparing for the initiation, well, for the interviews and stuff. So basically his wife gave her a makeover. Her hair was dyed. She went shopping for she basically fixed her Instagram. She had an interview with the board members and stuff. And that's one thing that I guess kind of saved she and made the board really like her, is that she was a virgin. So, which is why I guess the man had actually wait upon when he realized that he was kind of interested in she. So she passed the board or whatever, and she basically was supposed to go and live with them at some point in time. Because she passed, like, it was 2 steps she had to do first, and then she passed both of them steps. And then, like, basically, the man that she was marrying did not tell her that the initiation that has to happen is basically they have to have sex in front of the board members, and the board members are allowed to touch with their hands and their mouths. But her sister told her, because that's why the sister found out, the sister actually got pregnant on purpose. So the girl was just like, nah, so this is what can get me over this. I either gotta find the next man to marry, or I have to end up breed. And Sweet Girl was like, alright, breed it is. And so she got pregnant on purpose, so she would not have to marry into that musty family. Like, no, she's just on the bus. Anyway, so initiation happened. The initiation, I guess, went well, but she basically didn't want the man she was married to have to watch his father, because the father on the board like touched she, and it's like from that day the father kind of so she basically negotiated with father that he had to make his son his proxy, so his 2-minute turn, the son would get his 2-minute turn instead. So because he never get that opportunity to touch her, whatever, like, he became obsessed with her. And basically that's how like the other 2 books end up going. Like, he just had like this obsession with her. Like, at every corner he tried to manipulate her into doing something with him. So at first she had to play chess with he. Then he started doing this thing where he would like control her orgasms with like a vibrator. And then like honestly, then I had a time where basically he made her watch his wife do the oral, right? So like, this book was these 3 books were very, very spicy. And obviously it would be an extremely long video if I went that into all of them. But basically at the end of the 3, basically the son had a game plan, and he genuinely liked her. Like, not love at first, but he genuinely liked Medusa. He could see that she had little things and everything, and he wanted her to be like basically a partner that he would like make these steps in life with. Basically he was trying to dethrone his father. And so we see like this back and forth where he negotiated. It was just doing the most, and he was trying to do things like behind his father back. But his father, like I said before, like, you would think that you're on par with this man, but this man actually 2 steps ahead of you. So his father knew his whole plan. So like, Sweet Girl basically like I don't want to say horror herself, but Sweet Girl basically put herself in a position where she had to be she wasn't like sexual with him, but basically her father-in-law, well, yeah, at that point I was married. Yeah, at that point I was married. So basically her father-in-law was like, she was touching herself, but it was like she was a puppet, because he was guiding she hands. So it was basically this book tree, by the way. She was doing that so that she could find out. She said like, I can let you do this, but I get to ask you any question that I want to know. So she basically was asking him questions about, how much he knows about the son's plan. And so because she did that, they were able to like find like a counter plan. So he basically knew the son's whole plan. So because she went, for herself for a little information, they were able to like convince, like start campaigning to board members, because what the father had done, the father already knew what the plan was, because the son's plan was basically to make the father buy this company that had like some dirty things going on in the like behind it, like some kind of message trading. and someone was gonna blow the whistle or something like that. But the father knew. So he started basically telling board members that the son knew the information and let the company buy out, blah, blah, blah. So obviously when the son come to try to do a coup, nobody would not vote for the son because like the son knew what was going to happen and he did not warn the company, which means he's not the best person to take charge of the company. But like I said, when she found that information and found out that he already knew and he was campaigning to board members, she in turn started campaigning to other board members. So she was able to, she talked to some of them, like some was like, some didn't give them commitment. It was just like, well, you know, we will see on the day based on the information that's presented. But then she was able to she blackmailed one into giving her his seat because basically the man's wife was sleeping with next board member and all kind of foolishness. So in order to keep that hush hush so he would not be fired, he was like, all right, yeah, you could be my proxy for that day. So she was able to vote on that day. She convinced another board member for sure. So she knew for sure going in that she was going to have 2 votes. But I think it was 2 people. And then obviously her husband will be another vote. So she knew she was going to have 3 votes. But it had somebody that was going to basically be a wild card. And the person that said, well, he would decide on the day, blah, blah, blah. But basically, because she do all that, she was able to, her husband was able to win the vote. The father was overthrown. And they got so much more spice up, you know, in these 3 months. But you guys should definitely, like, take a look. Have a little read. Like, spicy. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you would like to see me, like, talk about more books that TikTok made me read.